Hey guys, my name is Angelia and welcome back to my channel, and welcome technically back to Dead by Daylight. And I said I didn't know if I was going to post any videos this weekend because, you know, I have a lot going on with the death of my family and all of that, but I kind of had the gumption to go ahead and record this after, and I've been asked over the past few days a lot about Dead by Daylight, you know, how to play, what does this do, can you tell me the best tips for Survivor and stuff like that, and I'm not the best Survivor. I will put that out there right now. I'm not the best one. There are plenty of others that are really great. If you want to see people who are amazing at Survivor, sorry if you hear the garage door, I would definitely recommend going over to Twitch and watching Jen Denise, watching Grims, and I can post both their links down below, but they are really great at Survivor and Killer. So depending on which role you want to play, both of them play both roles. I would say Jen plays more Survivor than she does Killer, but she does play a lot of both. And the same with Grims, except he plays more Killer than he does Survivor lately. But I just wanted to go over a few things. Well, actually a lot of things. I even wrote it down, like I have a list. So when you first launch Dead by Daylight, this is what you're gonna see. You probably won't see this particular killer because this screen's based off of whoever you had last on your little killer screen, but you're gonna see all these buttons down here. Quick play literally just means it picks for you if you're gonna be Survivor or Killer. So first things first, Dead by Daylight is an asymmetrical survival horror game. Someone is playing the killer in all of your matches, and just like someone is playing all the survivors in your matches. There are 4 survivors versus 1 killer. Sometimes things go wonky and you wind up with 3 survivors and, you know, whatnot. But that's the general basis of it. This game is very buggy. I guess it's technically still considered early access, even though it's released, but, you know, they're an indie team and they're working on things. And just as a side note, I am not timing this video. I'm just gonna go through and explain as best as I can and not worry about rushing through it. So this is the screen that you're going to see. I did want to point out the tutorials are vastly out of date. In the tutorials, they tell you, if you're a killer, they tell you to camp. Don't do that. Do not camp. 100% please, if you were just starting out, do not start camping. Only camp if they're really bad survivors, but we will get to that when I get to the actual killer part. So there are a bunch of buttons on the side that you choose from. Be a survivor, that means you are solo queuing. You're just gonna pop into a game without knowing anyone. Survive with friends, which you've seen if you watch our live streams or if you watch our videos on this game. You've seen Chloe and I, we always do survive with friends. That basically means all the well, not all the survivors, but 2 or more of the survivors are on a team together and you can talk to each other and all that fun stuff. Be a killer, obviously you're being a killer, and then kill your friends is a private match. You don't earn any points in private matches, though. You only earn points in one of these 3 modes. This one you don't earn anything, but you also don't lose anything, which is really cool. So like if you use an offering, you won't lose it. Much unlike me losing my voice right now. In the settings, if you're having issues with your FPS, I have my quality set to low, and I know a lot of actual like big streamers, they have theirs set to low as well, just because it works easier. There really isn't a huge difference between the graphics. It's actually darker when it's on ultra, but I don't know, I like mine on low, plus I play on a laptop, so you can adjust the menu music here, and then the actual game volume, all that fun stuff. I do want to talk about Daily Rituals. Daily Rituals is a really cool place. I only have 1 up, but usually you have 3. 3 will pop up, and you have the choice to do them. So like right here it says escape and survive 3 times with Claudette. So if I start playing Claudette and I survive 3 times with her, I will get this 18,000 blood point score. So I'm gonna go over the blood webs in specific. So I'm just gonna click on be a survivor. We're gonna see my lovely Meg darling here. So if you open up the menu, you're gonna see these icons. These are all your survivors. We have 7 of them right now. We only started off with these 4. It's hard to believe we already have 3 more new ones. This is going to be your loadout screen, but let's go over to the blood web. So this is the blood web. Yours will not look like this, obviously, when you first start. She is level 50. Let me I do... Okay, so he's a level 1. Let me just pull him up. So since he's brand new, this is a starting bloodweb. This is a level 1 bloodweb. It's it's pretty simple. Sorry, my throat's being weird right now. So the way you can buy stuff off... Think of your bloodweb as a skill tree. The way you buy stuff off of it is by earning blood points. This right here is your blood point score. You earn blood points by playing in the match. You know, by doing generators, by saving your friends off the hook, by healing your other survivors, by cleansing some totems, by running from the killer, by surviving. You get points for all that sort of stuff, which is pretty cool. We'll go over like the pipping and stuff later. So like say if I don't have enough to buy anything, but if you hover over them, they tell you how many blood points they're worth. So like the inner ring right here is always going to be worth 3,000. This one's always going to be worth 5, and this one will always be worth 8,000. So if I had the 3,000, all I would do would be to click and hold. And obviously I don't have enough, so the circle won't fill up, but if you do have enough, the circle will fill up red along the sides, and a little pop-up will come up telling you that you have bought it. In the earlier bloodwebs, you do have to buy everything. From bloodwebs 1 through 9, you have a chance of getting 0 to 1 perks. This right here is a perk. It's Plunderer's Instinct. It's pretty cool. It lets you see chests on the map. So they light up pink and you'll be able to see them and go and loot them. And that's another way to get items. Like, I could buy this, well, that's not an item, but like these right here, they're add-ons for the items. So you can buy items through your bloodweb, you can buy the add-ons through your bloodweb, offerings, and obviously perks are like the main thing people are going for. And then from levels 10 through 24, you have a chance of getting 1 to 2 perks per bloodweb. And then from level 25 to 50, you will always get 2 perks per bloodweb, but you can only purchase 1 because the entity will eat it. Which is kind of annoying, but it's a bigger chance for you to get a perk that you want by having 2 on each bloodweb. So I am going to go ahead and show you a bigger bloodweb. So this is Meg. She is level 50. However, she's technically like level 57-ish at this point. Just because you reach the level cap, you can still get new bloodwebs. Like I'm gonna be buying out this entire thing, and I'll get a new bloodweb. I'll get my perk. I'll get new perks still because I still don't have all the perks in the game, obviously, because it just ate this. So this black thing right here is called the entity. What the entity does is starting at level 10, and I think it's more towards the end of level 10 when you get there. This black mist will appear, and it'll, when you say if I were to hold down this and buy it, it would then eat something else on my bloodweb. And there are ways to cut it off to where it'll eat several things at a time, so you can level up a little bit more quickly. And sometimes it'll just be a punk and eat everything you want. So see, I bought the perk feather or lightweight up here, and then it immediately came and it got this one. So that's the entity. It can sometimes be a pain in the butt, but I've learned to love the entity because it saves me points in the end. So like, these are all the things I will be buying. And with your bloodwebs, you do have to go in order. Like, see, I wouldn't be able to just go and buy this. I could because of this, but like, say if none of the rest of the stuff was bought, I couldn't go here. I would have to go here and then here to get to this, or up and around like this. They have to be connecting. Think of it as connect the dots with the lines already connected. That's the best way I can sort of explain it. And on your bloodwebs, you will have a variety of perks, 2 perks obviously, offerings, item add-ons, and items themselves. So like right here, this is an offering. So an offering is something that sort of affects the nature of the game. So like this one, it gives me 25% bonus blood points in the altruism category, which altruism means saving your friends off the hook. It means healing your friends when they're injured and stuff like that. And there's this one, a Shroud of Binding. It makes all of the survivors start together. Like when the match first starts, all 4 of the survivors will be with one another, which is really cool. There's one for luck, there's one for darkest moonlight, there's one for some fog, and there's a whole bunch of different ones that you can play around with and see. And I'll link the game Wikipedia down below so you can go through the offerings if you want to see the various ones. This one is an item. And this one, like right here, is an add-on. This is an add-on. If it has a little plus next to it, it's an add-on to items. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my loadout. Loadout is where you will be picking your perks. Now, when you first... Let me go back to him. Actually, let's go to Nia, because she's fine too. And look how cute she is. So when you go to loadout, When you first start the game, you will only have one perk slot. You will unlock the second one at level 15, then 20, then 25. So yeah, your level is right here. You gain levels by going up in your bloodwebs. So if I were to go ahead and complete the rest of this bloodweb for Miss Nia here, I would then be a level 4 on Nia. Which it's pretty simple once you get the hang of it. So if you want to equip a perk, like say if I didn't want to use Quick and Quiet anymore, say I wanted to use Lightweight, I will just click it and then it's equipped. It's pretty simple. But we're going to go back to my darling Meg here. I have 4 perks, and as you can see I have quite a few perks to choose from. I can unselect one and then, you know, pop another one on, or you can, or just put that one back on because I like that perk. And it's pretty cool to have your choices of different things. This is the one I'm waiting on right now. Not that anyone cares, but I totally am. What else did I want to explain? I will say for beginners, and I still use premonition a lot. I'm actually going to go ahead and put premonition back on. Premonition is really cool because when you are panning your camera around, like if you're using, because you have to use your mouse, if you're using your mouse to go back and forth and like look across wherever you're standing or walking through, this will make a noise, an auditory noise that'll let you know that you are looking in the direction of the killer. So you'll know in a general sense where the killer is, and you can go the opposite way. Spine Chill kind of works in a similar way. It's another detection perk of the killer, except this time, in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, you'll see your perks lined up. Spine Chill will light up. Like the perk itself will light up and let you know if the killer is looking at you. But you won't know exactly which direction he's coming from, if that makes sense. I don't really like Spine Chill. I like these two together when I'm facing a Wraith, but otherwise I usually just stick to Premonition because I like having the little auditory sound cue. But the only bad thing about Premonition is that it does have a cooldown, but Spine Chill does not. It has no cooldown whatsoever. So another thing I want to talk about, I wanted to go talk about the Shrine of Secrets. This is kind of a new thing they implemented, as is the new progression of the bloodweb, and as you can see I've already bought some stuff on here. So every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific time, so that's 7 p.m. Eastern time for all of you guys who are on the East Coast, 4 new teachable perks will appear. So each character, each survivor and killer, have 3 perks unique to their specific character. But once they reach levels 30, 35, and 40, you can then buy the perks that are teachables. So like Miss Meg here, you get Quick and Quiet at level 5 for Meg. And then at level 30, you will get this orange icon that looks like this, except it'll have the Quick and Quiet thing, or the Quick and Quiet logo, rather, not thing. And once you buy it off the bloodweb, I can then get that perk on Dwight. Like, I can go and get it on Dwight, or I can get it on Nia, which I actually already have it on Nia, which is really cool. I think it's nice that you are able to get the character-specific perks on your other characters. And that's why most people, if you are just starting out in the game, I highly recommend starting with Meg or Claudette. But we will get to that in a second. I do want to go back to the shrine. So, the way you buy stuff from the shrine is not with blood points, it's with these right here. These little, like, purpley pink shards. They are called iridescent shards. You can't really calculate how many you're gonna get in a match, but you earn shards by spending time in the match. So, I don't know, say if you spend like 30 minutes in the match, you will get a larger amount of iridescent shards to spend. Most of the perks on here are going to be 550 shards to purchase. I just bought one today. Well, I already had this one, but I bought it again because I want the blood points that it gives you if you already own the perk. So this perk right here, it's owned by Dwight. This one right here, it's owned by Jake, but I can now get it on my Meg because I got the teachable perk of it. And it's a really cool opportunity. It definitely cuts down on the grind because before, which really sucked, like say if I wanted to get Bond for Meg, I would have to go through and level Dwight up to like level 45, or no, level 40 just to get it, which kind of sucks. It's a pain in the butt to have to go through that grind just to get a teachable perk, but now you can get to the shrine, which is really, really cool. And I know probably a lot of you who who are watching this do play The Sims, there is a customization option. You guys won't have these two, but you will have these ones. So you can, let me just show you her default look. Meg will immediately pop up with this outfit when you first download the game. But then you have the option of these pants and stuff. I got this one and this one are from the 80s DLC that you can purchase and download. These ones are my Legacy Prestige that I grinded so hard for, and I'm never gonna wear again because she kind of looks like a Christmas tree. And then the standard Prestige clothes. And the way you prestige your character, which my Meg is a Prestige 3, so she's as prestige as she can get. When you get to your level 50 bloodweb, there will be a skull in the middle. You just hold it down like you would a perk, and it'll prestige your character. Now, what prestiging does, it kind of sucks, because you get set back to level 1 on your character. You lose all your perks. So all this right here, I will lose all of these things. I will lose all of my offerings, all my add-ons, and all my items. You lose everything and you go back down to 1 perk slot. You're basically starting over again, but you get this cool bloody t-shirt as a consolation prize, and your bloodwebs, you get more rare items and such on there, which is pretty cool, and you get the more rare perks earlier on. So I did want to look at the items just real fast before we get into like the nitty-gritty stuff. So like, say if I grab this med kit. You go over here to your add-ons, and these are the ones that I can add to my medkit to make it a little bit better. So this one adds 10 charges to my medkit, so I can stick this on. This is really cool because it's an instant heal, as is this one. This one just insta-heals you for 1 stage, but this one, say if your teammate is on the ground in the dying state, you can just pop them with this, and they are ready to go. And the way you activate something like this, or this, is you have to right-click on it. It'll say M2, but M2 means to right click, M1 means to left click on your mouse. You will hit the right click button and press space to activate it. Always press the space button. That's how you activate it. It's fairly simple. But actually a lot of people don't know how to do it, which is kind of funny. And you know, it's the same with the toolbox. This brand new part is an instant repair on a generator. It's pretty cool. It's also kind of scummy to do to killers, and then there's flashlights where you can blind the killer with these. I'm terrible at them, so I give all my flashlights to Bob. He doesn't seem to mind too much. There is something called the skeleton key, which can open up the hatch. And we'll go over that once we get to basic gameplay stuff. I do want to go over the survivors a little bit more. So let me just take this out of her hand and change her back to what I had her in, because it's really weird looking at Meg when she's not wearing what I'm used to her wearing. There we go. What do I want to go over next? The ranks. So this right here is your survivor rank. I am a rank 1. When you first start off on the game, you will be a rank 20. That's the lowest rank you will have. You have to earn pips, which are actually called points in progress, to rank up. So like this right here, this little like teardrop shape is a pip. This circle is a space where I don't have a pip because I lost it. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but eventually you will get used to it, and you'll start pipping without realizing it. So the way you earn a pip is you have to earn at least 10,000 points in the match. You can earn up to 2 pips per game, so that's 20,000 points, because the max amount of points you can earn in 1 match is 32,000. Now that's incredibly hard to get as a survivor, but it's a lot easier as a killer, I would like to say, to get that 32,000 max points. Which kind of sucks. But so you are scored on 4 categories. I really only know the survivor side of the categories that you're scored on because I don't play killer. I don't like playing killer. It just kind of stresses me out. It's not fun for me. But survivor, you are scored on survival, which means exiting the match. You're scored on altruism, which means getting your friends off the hook. It means healing them and running with them, body blocking for them, stuff like that. Boldness, which means being chased by the killer, doing stuff like saboteur, which I do not recommend. Do not sabo. Sabo's bad and scummy. Don't do it. But being chased is usually the one that'll do it for you. And also flashlight blinding the killer will do it. Cleansing totems will do it. And stuff like that. And then, oh my gosh, the last category. Why am I blanking? Oh, objectives, which means the generators. You gain objective points by doing the generators and by opening up chests, which I think is pretty cool. There are always 3 chests that will be on your map Like, when you load into the game, there's always going to be 3 chests, unless there's an offering that gives you more, or killer one that'll give you less. I think I do have some that bring me more. So like this one, if I put this one up, I'll get 2 more chests on that map, so I'll be 5 chests on that map, which is pretty cool. So when you go through the chests, you will always get an item. There will always be some kind of item in there, whether it's good or bad. Usually it's one of these 2 suckers, and they drive me nuts because they give me the really bad ones, because these ones are awful. They're so bad. You don't want those. And speaking of survival, there are 2 ways to exit the map. And actually, you know what? Let's just start from the beginning. So the survivor objective is to power 5 generators. There are always 7 generators on each map, so you have a little bit of leeway if you can't get to one or the other, or the killer's camping a generator, there's always going to be another one. And you have to power those generators, which will then power up the exit doors. You'll see the exit doors light up on your screen. You are going to run to them and pull down the lever. It takes a few seconds to open it, and then you run out the gate. All the other survivors can run through as well. However, say if your entire team is dead, you're the last one standing, there are 3 gens left. You obviously cannot power all those by yourself. You have another option. It's called the escape hatch. It's a pretty cool thing. It'll make like a whooshing air sound. Actually, I think it might be the last video that Coffee and I did on Dead by Daylight here on YouTube, I had a hatch escape, so you should be able to hear it in that one. It makes like a whooshing air sort of a sound, sort of like a angel's hallelujah whisper. I don't know. That's how I describe it. And what that means is all you have to do is left click when you get to the hatch, and you jump through and you escape. So it is another option for if you're the last one standing or your entire team is dead, and it kind of sucks when that happens, but the escape hatch is pretty cool. It will not appear directly in front of you most of the time. Sometimes you'll get lucky, but it can appear anywhere on the map. You basically just have to run around listening for it and also avoiding the killer, which kind of sucks, I know, but anyway, so these are some more offerings that are just here. Like this one is a map one. So, like, this one will take me to Haddonfield if I burn it. Like, it'll for sure because it's green and it's rare and all that fun, happy crap. Why am I so, like, phlegmy right now? Yeah, I'm getting sick. I don't know. I hope not. Like, I literally have a list of notes that I'm going through. So, we've gone over the blood webs and all that stuff. So, I actually want to go ahead. I'm gonna flip a page, so I'm sorry if you hear me rustling papers. We are going to go over the survivors. So as I said, each survivor has a set of 3 unique perks specific to them, but you can eventually get those perks on your other survivors. So basically they're survivor skins on who you think's the cutest. I happen to start off with Meg, and she's been my favorite since day 1. To new players, I always recommend Meg or Claudette. Meg, because she has a perk called Sprint Burst, which is really cool because when you hit your sprint button, which is your shift key, she will run really fast. And it's pretty cool, and it helps you get away from killers. It's pretty much my favorite perk. Like, if I could only have the one perk, it would be Sprint Burst. It has saved me a lot of times. With Claudette, her main draw is that she has self-care, which means if she gets injured, she can heal herself, and she doesn't have to seek out one of her teammates to heal her, which is pretty cool. But, we're going to go down the list. So we're going to start off with our OG survivors. We're going to go see Mr. Dwighty Poo here. I have him in this sweet pink outfit. So Dwight Fairfield, his 3 main perks are Bond, Leader, and Prove Thyself. I feel like his best one is Bond. Bond allows you to see your fellow survivors, even if they're not injured, which is pretty cool. You can see like their outline in red, which I really like, and I'm trying to actually get on my Meg right now. We have Claudette Morel. Her 3 perks are Botany Knowledge, Empathy, and Self-Care. All 3 of those perks are really, really good. Botany Knowledge allows you to heal others and yourself faster if you have Self-Care. Obviously, Self-Care, you can heal yourself. And Empathy allows you to see those who are injured, which is really cool, especially if you see one of your teammates get injured and you want to go help them and heal them, you can find them very easily. Next up, we have Mr. Jake Park. He is known for his saboteuring skills, Calm Spirit, and Iron Will. Saboteur means that he can disarm traps and hooks will not disarm. He can sabotage the traps and the hooks to make them not work anymore. It's kind of seen as a really scummy move now. It used to be a point farmer, but now it's awful. Don't do that. Don't do that to your killers unless maybe you have a daily ritual that calls for you to saboteur, but otherwise I highly recommend not doing it. But he does blend very well with his sweet green jacket. And last but not least of our main OG characters, we have Miss Meg Thomas. Her 3 main perks are Adrenaline, Quick and Quiet, and Sprint Burst. So I've already explained Sprint Burst. Quick and Quiet is pretty cool because say if you fast vault over a window or if you run into a locker, the killer will not get the visual cue that you have done so. And that's actually something that I forgot to mention, is that when you quick vault over a window or if you run into a locker and it like slams, the killer gets a visual, and if he gets an audio cue if he's nearby and he happens to hear it, but he will get a visual cue that you've just done that. It'll come up as a little explosion on his screen, so he'll know where you are. That also happens when you fail any skill check. Say if you fail a generator skill check or you fail a skill check to heal yourself or someone else, the killer gets a visual alert that you have done so. If you are running, say if you are holding down your shift button and you are running all over that map, you leave red scratch marks on the ground that let the killer, they can follow your trail and find you. So don't sprint unless you absolutely have to, or if you're running from the killer or whatnot, or if you know he's not near you, go ahead and sprint. The sprint marks do not stay there forever. I forget how many seconds it is that they stay there, but it's not forever. You'll be fine in a few seconds, especially if he's not near you. Don't worry about it. I run around the map like an idiot, so you should be fine. I've already covered that. Hooks. So say if, I really should have covered this before I went to all the survivors, but if you get hooked, this is your first time being on the hook, you will have the option to attempt escape. Unless you are the last person standing, or you see your teammates are not coming for you, do not attempt escape. Because what that does is that drains your health, and it kills you faster, and that gives your teammates way less time to come and try to save you. So just hang there. Just hang tight. Let them do their thing. If you see them walking towards you, please do not attempt escape. It's like one of my #1 pet peeves, and if I see my teammate attempting escape, 10 out of 10 times, I will not come to save them unless I'm super close to them, because it's just rude. Like, you see me running at you trying to come save you, please don't try to kill yourself. Like, it's just gonna bug me. And say if you got saved that first time, you got saved before the struggle phase. Struggle phase happens at the halfway point between your bleeding out. When you get to the struggle phase, it'll tell you to press the space bar. Like that. You'll just be constantly tapping this stupid thing. That is to keep struggling. Again, it buys your teammate more time to come and save you. It's pretty much all it is. You stop struggling, you're gonna die on the hook. That's just how it goes. Your third hooking, you will insta-die, no matter what. Sometimes you will die on the second hooking if your teammate couldn't get to you before the struggle phase. It happens. If you're in the struggle phase on the hook and you get saved and you go back on the hook, you're gonna insta-die. Like, within a second. What else was I gonna say about that? There was like something else I had in mind that I'm totally blanking on. And I don't remember. That sucks. Okay, let's move on then. So, next up we have Mia Carlson. Her 3 perks are Balanced Landing, Urban Evasion, and Streetwise. Her perks aren't the best, but they're pretty good. I actually really like Urban Evasion. When you're crouching, you can actually walk a little bit faster. It's actually, I think it's like 50% faster now, which is pretty cool. They buffed it quite a bit, and I think it's great. So I actually have it on my Meg. I don't know. I'm still figuring out a build for her. Next we have Miss Laurie Strode, which if you know me, you know I'm a huge fan of the Halloween movies, the original ones with Michael Myers, so having these iconic characters in this game kind of just made my entire life. She looks nothing like Laurie Strode. I'm gonna put that out there right now. Her outfit looks amazing though. But her 3 perks are Decisive Strike, Object of Obsession, and Soul Survivor. So hers all sort of circle around the obsession mechanic in this game. Decisive Strike is the best one by far that she has. Basically, if the killer picks you up, you can hit a skill check that'll allow you to get off of his shoulder, Most killers hate it, and they will face camp you for it. Oh, that was what I was gonna say. If you're on the hook and the killer is in front of you, camping you, please do not try to escape. Please keep struggling, because you're gonna be buying your teammates extra time to get their generators done and get out of that match. You need to punish that killer if he's face camping you, because it's such a scummy thing to do. And honestly, if you can't secure your kills without camping, that says more about you as a killer than it does about the survivors. However, if you're being a scummy survivor, and if you're teabagging the killer, if you're running infinite jukes on him, you deserve to be face camped. I'm just saying. You totally deserve to be face camped, especially if you're saboing. Like, don't sabotage things. Just don't do it. If you don't know what an infinite juke is, good. Don't learn it. I didn't learn how to play with an infinite juke, so I never did it, and I am all the more better for it, so I don't rely on scummy tactics to get away from the killer. And last but not least, he's our newest boy. We have Mr. Ace Visconti. I have him in a sweet tuxedo. His 3 perks are Ace in the Hole, Open-Handed, and Up the Ante. I don't know much about his perks or him, but I'm pretty sure his perks are a little bit on the weak side. Not exactly worth it if you're gonna level up a survivor. Again, Meg or Claudette are the way to go if you were just starting out in this game. And I feel like on the Shrine, self-care is gonna pop up very soon. We've already had sprint bursts and everything, so hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll pop up. But let's actually go ahead and switch our role over to the killer. Ah, Mr. Michael Myers. Man after my own heart. But we're going to start off with the man himself. We're going to start off with the Trapper. He's actually like the mascot, technically, for this game. Thought my cat was awake. He has these sweet Halloween eyes on him right now. As you can see, I do not play killer. I have not leveled anyone up. I'm still a rank 20, but how did I get 1 pip on killer? I don't know, because I don't play killer, so I'm a little confused. Okay, well, we have the Trapper here. His 3 main perks are Agitation, Brutal Strength, and Unnerving Presence. So with the Trapper, he sets down some bear traps. So, like, see, every killer has a power that's unique to them. So even though their unique perks can be transferred to the other killers, just like Survivor unique perks can be transferred, each killer has a specific power that's entirely their own. He can set down bear traps. As of right now, I'm not a fan, only because they kind of turned the Trapper into more of a camping killer, because basically now the Trapper will put down traps under you and still be around you while you're hooked up. You know, after he hangs you up on a hook, he'll still be around. You have to disarm the trap now before getting the survivor, and that just alerts the killer, and then he's on you, and it's really difficult right now with Trapper. I do feel like they need to revert. The bear traps weren't always that way. It kind of sucks right now, but it is what it is, unfortunately. There is a perk to sort of counteract it. They nerfed it really hard. There was a perk called Small Game for the survivors, in which the bear traps would actually glow like this orangey color when you came upon them, so you would be able to see them. Now it just makes an auditory cue, so you don't know where they are, you just know that it's nearby, and it kind of blows. I'm not a fan of that perk anymore. It used to be one of my favorites, now it's just kind of useless. You'll fall in bear traps, it'll happen. You will just be running and poof, there's your leg in a bear trap. It's gonna be loads of fun. He's the main dude. Next up we have Mr. Wraith. He goes invisible. He has a sweet bing bong and bell, so his perk is, or his common, well, it's not, what am I saying? His power is the Wailing Bell. So when he first starts off in the match, he will be invisible. He's not like completely invisible, you can sort of see him. He'll basically have, think of Harry Potter, and he'll have an invisibility cloak on. You can see the shimmer, and he will still be doing the sweet growling that he's doing right now, so you will be able to hear him. And then when he uncloaks, which means he becomes visible, you'll hear him ring his bell. He cannot hurt you while he is cloaked. While he's invisible, he cannot hit you. But when you do hear him or you see him, definitely, you know, if he hasn't seen you, skirt around something, hide. Don't let him see you. He's probably still one of the weaker killers right now, but I like the Wraith. I love going against the Wraith. His 3 main perks are Bloodhound, Predator, and Shadowborn. Let's go over to Mr. Hillbilly. These are our 3 OG killers, by the way. So this is our lovely hillbilly buddy here. I have all the Halloween eyes on my killers, even though I don't play killer. So he has a chainsaw. So basically, he'll be revving his chainsaw, and he can hit you down in one hit. With most of the other killers, they have to hit you twice with, like, this sort of a weapon, with a melee, I don't know how to pronounce that, weapon. They have to hit you twice, and that'll put you in the ground on the dying state, which means he can then pick you up and put you on a meat hook. Oh gosh, I'm, like, pressing buttons all over the place. Yeah, he's pretty OP. Everyone complains about, like, Michael being OP, but this guy, he's been OP since day one, and no one complains about him. He can literally insta-down you the entire match. And yet no one says a thing, and he's super fast, because he can chainsaw sprint across the map in, like, a second. It's kind of crazy. It's probably the one I'm most afraid of. He freaks me out. I hate going against Billy. He puts me on edge so badly that it makes me anxious, but, there are some Billies that are a lot of fun, though. His perks are Enduring, Lightborn, and Tinkerer. They all affect his lovely chainsaw here. Let's move on to Miss Nurse. She is the lovely lady. Her name is Sally in real life. She wheezes because she was actually strangled to death. Oh, I leveled her up at some point. I think it's because I wanted to play her. But anyway, her power is to teleport. She can hold it's called a blink in here. You'll see her have her palm out with, like, little lights that'll be swirling around, and she can teleport by judging the distance by holding the teleport in her hand. Standard blink, she can only teleport twice in a row, and then she gets, like, a huge stun afterwards in which she hangs her head and she can't see anything. She's looking at the ground. Just before she's about to teleport, like when she's starting to charge it up, you will hear her gasp. She'll make a sound, and then she'll teleport and make a screeching sound when she's actually teleporting. In the right hands, in a very good killer's hands, she is the most deadly. Hands down. She's impossible to get away from, but most of the killers who play her aren't that good. I'm just gonna put that out there. The best way to actually juke this lovely lady is if you hear her, if she's on you, if you're being chased by her, and you hear that gasp, run towards her. Because she's gonna blink past you. She will teleport past you, and then you'll be on the opposite sides again. Just keep doing that until you can get away from her. Which actually reminds me, I did want to give some tips on these guys. So the Wraith, if he is cloaked, say he has his lovely invisibility cloak on, if you have a flashlight, you can aim it at him and you can burn him. It'll stun him, which is pretty cool. Trapper, there's really not much you can do with Trapper. Hillbilly, though, say if he's like rubbing his chainsaw at you and he's chasing you and you know he's gonna try to chainsaw you, spin around in a circle. Like just do a quick 360 in back of him. He can't turn that fast to hit you. Or another good tip is to constantly, don't run in a straight line, basically. Wind yourself around a tree, spin around a rock, anything to keep going in a curve. You know, just to sort of make him off course. So let's go on to my lovely Michael. Look how beautiful he is. He's great. So he's actually called the Shape on here, which is, he was in the original movie's credits. He was as the Shape, which is pretty cool that they paid homage to that. But he has this lovely kitchen knife. So his power is very long. It's very detailed. You can read about it. I'll leave this up while I'm explaining. It's called Evil Within. So when you first spawn into the match with Michael, your killer's Michael. You may not know it's Michael or not. But his Evil Within power, when he's in tier 1, which is when the match starts, he has no heartbeat. All the other killers, they have a heartbeat radius, which means you can hear the thumping. As it gets louder towards you, that means the killer's coming closer. The only other one that doesn't have a heartbeat radius is the Wraith, but that's only when he's invisible. When he is out of his cloak, he does have a heartbeat. This guy does not. So, play him like you would play the Wraith. Constantly be panning your camera around and be looking around you. Be very aware of your surroundings. Just make sure you're paying attention, and if you see him, run. Because what he's going to do is he's going to be standing there stalking you. As he stalks you, he's building up his power. He's basically feeding off of your energy to get to the next level of his power. So level 2 for Michael, he then has a heartbeat. It's still not as big of a heartbeat range as the other killers. It's still pretty, it's like half. but he is considerably faster. And then Evil Within 3 is when you have to really look out, because that's when he holds up his knife, like, above his face, and he will have an instant down. It's basically like semi-permanent no-ed. It lasts for 1 minute in the game. He can just hit you down with one hit, and, you know, he can pick you back up. And then he'll bop back down to Evil Within 2, and then he can build up his power again to get back to Evil Within 3. Once he's in Evil Within 2, he can't go back to Evil Within 1. So that's kind of the trade-off with that. What was I gonna say? I don't remember. That's awkward. Oh. Every time he levels up in tiers, you'll hear the Halloween theme music. Let me go back to him real quick. You'll hear this music. The first time when he goes up to Evil Within 2, it'll be a softer sound. When he gets to Evil Within 3, you will know it because it'll be a very loud version of the song. And then when he cools off, it'll be a lighter, shorter version of it. If he's stalking you, you will also hear some Halloween music. It'll just be the stalking Halloween music and not the main theme music, you know? If you've seen the movie, then you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's pretty much Michael in a nutshell. He introduced the mechanic of obsessions, which means they become obsessed with one survivor. If you're an obsession, you'll have like little brackets around your name when you get into the match. A sound will also alert you that you're the obsession, like it'll pop up in your ear that you're the obsession. It'll make like a little weird jingly sound or whatever. Actually, no, it's not even jingly. It's like, I don't know how to describe it. Most of the time, it depends on the killer and if they know how their perks work. A lot of them don't know how they work exactly. And I'm, like, 2 of his perks, he's not supposed to kill you if you're the obsession. He's supposed to leave you for last. But then I usually end up dying first. I'm just like, do you not understand the meaning of your perk? So it gets a little testy right then and there. But Dying Light, though. If he has Dying Light equipped, you will see it. It'll be a 5th perk on your little thing here, and when you're in the match. It'll be blue with like a little lantern thing. That means he's going to kill the obsession first. And he's going to want to kill the obsession first because that gives him a power boost. So his 3 perks are Dying Light, Play with Your Food, and Save the Best for Last. And last but not least, we have this new lady called the Hag. She's very tiny. She makes this creepy sound. She has traps, sort of like the Trapper. Her 3 main perks are Hex Ruin, Hex Devour Hope, and Hex the Third Seal. She is very new. She was just introduced on Thursday. So basically, she has a total of 10 traps, which honestly I think is too much. Actually, maybe it wouldn't be too much if you couldn't place them right next to each other, because it's already being heavily abused. Like, I was on a hook earlier, and I had 1 trap under my feet. I had 2 to the left of me, and I had 2 more to the right of me. So she literally, like, circled me in traps, and it would be impossible for anyone to get me. But basically what her traps do is a decoy image of her pops up, and it's meant to scare you. It's meant to scare you away. But the Hag, she has a choice if she stays where she is, so say if she's chasing someone, or she can teleport up through her trap that just got set off and come directly to you and hit you. She does have, like, I think it's like a 2-second stun when she does go ahead and teleports. So there's that. But she can only teleport if you're within a 32-meter range of her once you let it off, which is a fairly small range. So, she is slow. The nurse is actually the slowest when she's walking because she has the teleports otherwise. I believe she's only a tad faster than the nurse, if I'm not mistaken. That's what I've been told. But yeah, that's basically her in a nutshell. She introduced the mechanics of the totems and the hex totems. So around the map, you'll see like these little skulls, and if you watch the live streams or anything, I'm the totem queen apparently. And if they're lit up, that means it's attached to one of her perks. So if you destroy that totem, a thunderclap will appear and alert the killer, but the killers get alerted even if you cleanse normal totems, which means basically just means destroying the totems. But you get 400 points, so hey, why not, right? I'm gonna destroy all the freaking totems. But if you destroy one that's lit up, that's attached to her perk, she will get the notification for it. and it basically renders whatever perk she's using useless. She can't use it anymore. Kind of sucks for her, and I do think she's a bit underpowered, but at the same time, in some departments, she's a little overpowered. I don't know. She's fun to play against, so a lot of jump scares. It's pretty fun. I can't stand to listen to her do that, but I don't think I have. Do I have anything on you, Michael? What perk did I get on you? I didn't. Oh, Sloppy Butcher. So I did want to talk about a few things with killers. Again, I'm not a killer main. I am a survivor main, but I do see both sides of this. You know, I'm an adult. I see that. I'm not dumb. There's this lovely thing that killers like to do called camping. Basically, they're gonna hang you up on a hook and they're gonna stand there and watch you die. They're gonna wait for people to come up and they'll hit them, but they may still stand there and watch you die and be a total scumbag. Basically, it ruins your entire game. It's boring because you're not running around, you're not doing something, you're just hanging on a hook watching this guy stare at you, and it sucks. Trust me, I know it sucks. However, if he is camping you, stay alive for as long as you can. Let your fellow survivors get the rest of the gens. Get them done. Punish him for camping. Camping is not the correct way to play. I don't care what the stupid tutorials say. They're very outdated. Camping is wrong. You can be reported for camping now because it's unsportsmanlike behavior. It's just plain rude. It's bad manners. It's BMing your fellow players. Don't be a douchebag. It's pretty simple. There's also something called tunneling, which means the killer will be chasing you and only you. Like, even if someone tries to run in front of you, or run in back of you, rather, to block the killer from hitting you, they will ignore that person and still go after you and not give a crap about anyone else. It's annoying. Trust me, I know. Eventually they will get you. Especially Michael. He's pretty darn fast. And there is another thing called bots. When you're, like, readying up in a lobby, if you... there are, like, 4 slash marks, which is, like, the main symbol of this game. Let me see if any... No, nothing over here has it, but, there's 4 slash marks and then one that goes across. The one that goes across, if it's blinking red and white, then it's a bot. That means someone, it's a real player still, but someone set up a macro. They're not actually there. They're just gonna be standing one place and hitting. It's very boring, but people use it to farm points. Super boring, but what can you do? I also wanted to talk about a perk called, you've probably heard me and Chloe screaming about it at certain times, called NOED. That is short for No One Escapes Death. It is a killer perk. Basically what happens is when the survivors power the exit gates, like they get those 5 generators up, the killer A gets a little bit faster in his walking speed, and then he can hit you down with 1 hit. And a lot of the times, like say if the killer's having a bad game, he uses that to save his entire game. That's usually when I have a problem with it, but a lot of the times I don't really care. I've probably gotten my points. And also when you're playing in the match, you're gonna see these circles pop up right in the side of the screen, and if you go back and watch some of our videos, you'll be able to see them pop up. You're getting points right then. It doesn't tell you exactly how many you have, but you'll see the circle start to turn a little bit more red. If it goes completely red, that means you've gotten at least 5k in that category, which means you've earned 1/2 of a pip. So if you get 2 categories, like you get bold and you get objectives full, you've definitely earned your pip, which is pretty cool. You can get a black safety pip at 7,000 points though, which is pretty nice to be able to secure your withstanding withstanding pip and rank, which is pretty cool. Another thing that killers have is called Memento Mori. So when you get into the match, like you're in the lobby to wait for a match, say, like 3, oh my god, what are they called? I'm like blanking out because it's pretty late here. 3 offerings pop up. Say if you burned one to have 2 more chests appear, and then you see this black card that doesn't turn over, chances are that's a Memento Mori, which is from the killer. Any offerings that are black is from the killer. It's not from a fellow survivor. All survivor offerings have a white background to basically discern it from being the killer or not. Memento Mori means that he can kill you by his hand and not the meat hook. Kind of sucks, and it always instills terror in me every time I see it. There are 3 versions of the Mori. There's a Cypress Memento Mori, which means he can only kill the last survivor. There's an ivory memento mori, which means he can kill one survivor by his choice. And then there's the ebony memento mori, which means he can then kill every single survivor by his hand. So basically he will hit you once, he'll hit you down a second time, and then once you're on the ground, he will then kill you. He'll just kill you by his hand. I still think Michael has the best memento mori animation, because each killer has a animation specific to them. I think Michael's is the best, in my personal opinion. The Hags is really cool. It's very, very brutal. Very brutal, so if you get queasy, don't watch that one. It's pretty gross. I like it, but I'm twisted. And I think that kind of covers it. As far as I'm aware, went over the bloodwebs, went over the Shrine of Secrets, went over the loadout and everything, and all this fun stuff. So, like, yeah, these are the offering. Say if I was burning that, that would pop up, like, right here, and then the killer one would be, like, right here. Some of them are secret. Like, this one's secret, so it'll turn over for you if you're the one burning it, but all the other survivors won't be able to see it. The killer won't be able to see it, etc., etc. But yeah, I think that about covers it. I really hope this helped. If you're very interested in this game, or you're just starting out playing, I wish you luck, and I promise you, you're gonna die a lot at first, but it will get better, and it's very, very addictive, and it's so much fun. I love playing this game. There are always gonna be those games where you get screwed over, and the killer's a complete jerk, and he face camps you, and he tells you that you're the one that needs to get better at the game, because you're the one that's so bad, but keep at it. I promise you, it's not bad all the time. It is fun. I love playing it, and yeah. I hope you enjoy this. I hope it helped, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!